We are live on location at the uh, Baton Rouge, the Hilton Baton Rouge Capitol Center in downtown Baton Rouge for the Pelican Institute for Public Policy's annual Solutions Summit. Love coming out to this event. Going to be a jam-packed day. As far as content is concerned, we got a guest list that runs us through the full 3 hours of the show today, and that guest list starts off now with Daniel Erspamer, who heads up the Pelican Institute. Welcome back, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I've got coffee flowing through my veins. I'm ready to go.
We go straight to Red Bull here.
Don't mess around.
And I went with a 12-ounce this morning, too, so not the normal little 8.4 thing. This is it's going to be an interesting third hour if I'm just going to be bouncing off the walls. Bring on Grover Norquist. Let's do it. Hey, first of all, thank you for having me out again.
Thanks for coming.
I love this event. And I love how it kind of it's like a legislative pregame show.
That's right.
You get a good look at what's going to be going on, the ins and outs of what's going to be going on starting April 10th. Walk me through a little bit about what folks can expect today.
Yeah, this is going to be in about 30 minutes here. The hallways are going to be buzzing. We're going to have several hundred of our closest friends joining us. And we've got a jam-packed schedule in terms of policy discussions. Of course, the afternoon will feature a gubernatorial forum, which promises to be very interesting.
Wait. Promises how? Let me ask this question. How many chairs will be on that stage?
Well, much like the other forums, this seems to be the way these candidates have decided to do these, and it works well for me, is that they will be one at a time talking, but we've got 5 conversations to be had, and, there's still, let's see, it's 6:39 a.m., and the forum starts at 2:15,
okay,
so we'll see.
2:15 is plenty of time. All right, let me re-ask it this way. Hey, last week at La Bee's Forum, Stephen Wagasback had a chair on that stage. Are we looking at this again?
Well, as I've said before, as I said to Stephen, if the announcement comes by 2 o'clock, give me a call. We invited Secretary Wilson as well, and if the announced candidates want to participate and share with the audience here what they believe and why they should be governor, let's do it.
So that forum runs from 2:15 to 4.
That's right.
There's a networking break after that. Nobody in that room is going to care if they miss 15 minutes worth of networking a good hour before they're going to have a cocktail reception anyway. So if it runs long, it runs long.
That networking break was strategically put there.
It looks that way. It does look that way. We're talking with Daniel Erspamer from the Pelican Institute about the rundown for today. Let's talk a little policy real quick before, I know the gubernatorial forum is going to be the headline, and we'll get back around to it if we have time on the back end. But policy-wise, tax reform is going to be a big thing this year.
That's
and
right.
It shows in who y'all have brought in.
Yeah, today we will have a couple of announcements from here, but I'll give you a preview of it as a major campaign to really define the terms of the debate in this election cycle. In everybody's packet, and this will be online here by the end of the day, we've got our Louisiana comeback agenda.
Yep.
And this is 6 chapters on the most important priority issues facing the state. And we'll be talking about all of them today. And the headline, as you noticed, is tax reform and education. These are, we've got a bunch of topics, but those are our 2 main stage sessions. And for good reason. They have outsized impact on, can we bring our kids and grandkids home? Can we create a place where jobs and opportunity can flourish?
Right. And can we bring our grandkids home? The question is from where? And this is one of the things that we're seeing, places where the cost of living is through the roof, places where the political climate has just left the rails. The West Coast is being abandoned at this point. So right now we are in a battle royale, a royal rumble with Texas, with Tennessee, with Florida, with Alabama, with Mississippi, and we're not winning.
No, in fact, if it's a battle royale, we're getting pile driven right now. It's
by
not
Mississippi. Dude, I take it so personally. Like, if Tennessee wants to beat us, okay, fine. Tennessee's got redeemable qualities. Florida has redeemable, for all the Florida man stories that are out there.
That's right.
Florida has redeemable. Texas has cities. I always want to be number 1, but I could settle for being in the top 5 when those are the other 3.
Yep.
But if I get pushed down by Mississippi, I start to take that personally.
It's brutal. Look, as you said, we've got people leaving the sort of coastal hellholes of New York and California, and certainly Illinois up north, and and they're coming basically everywhere but here. You know, we are in the top 5. Unfortunately, it's the top 5 of states who are losing population.
Yeah.
And that's just unacceptable. It just, you know, it makes me angry, frankly.
As well it should.
Yeah.
I mean, but focused anger, obviously.
That's right.
It's because, you know, anger without focus is just
Rage.
yeah. It gets it leads to the dark side.
It does.
It actually does lead to the dark side. So, tax reform. What are we looking at specifically here? And I've got Grover Norquist coming up in an hour, which will be a hoot.
Always fun.
Yeah.
So we'll start out. We've actually got part of what we try to do here at the Solution Summit is not just talk about our ideas, but bring in folks from around the country who've actually done some of these things. So we have Dan Dawson, who is the chair of the tax committee in the Senate in Iowa.
Okay.
Governor Reynolds has just championed, and the legislature passed significant tax reform. They're coming back for round 2. Similarly, we have the former president pro tem of the Arizona Senate, who worked with Governor Doug Ducey to bring their tax rate to the lowest in the country that has a tax.
Okay.
2.5% flat income tax, and they're phasing that out. So
Interesting.
we want to know, how did they do it? What did they do? And Grover will be on stage as well to give sort of a bird's eye view of what we're calling the flat tax revolution. And so we're going to talk about how do we get to that flat tax and then phase it out so that families can thrive.
What's actually viable in that regard here in Louisiana? Because we do have a number of hurdles that if we want to be responsible, caring,
2 minutes.
take after, like, make sure our citizens are taken care of. There is a large percentage of Louisiana that's underneath the poverty line. If we just pull income tax right here, I don't know how we can make that fly and keep everybody afloat.
Well, we are just days away from finishing we've hired outside firms to come in and run modeling on this. So we have a basic outline of the plan. We'll have a lot more to say in the next couple of weeks. We can talk about that in a couple of weeks.
We can do that.
But here's the basic idea. If we can get to a flat tax now by removing complexity, removing those, let's talk about the corporate tax code for a second. It has 439 pages of carve-outs, exemptions, tax preferences. The individual tax code, the sales tax, all have, they're riddled with holes. And so if we can get to some simplification, we believe we can get that rate down, collapse that top bracket, and get to a flat 3.5%.
Okay.
And then use constrained government. Look, spending has grown from $28 billion to $50 billion.
Yeah.
In just the last 7 years.
Yeah.
That's out. It's just hard to wrap your head around.
Well, and some of it has to do with the nature of our nation and our world as a whole. I mean, some of that spending will taper off if there's not, COVID-23.
That's right.
Like, but along with that, and John Kennedy said this years ago as treasurer. He said, federal dollars are like crack, and we're all a bunch of junkies.
Exactly
and
right.
And I didn't full on the impression there. But you get the nature of it. I mean, and he's right.
He is.
He was right then, and it's still right today. That statement lives true today.
That's right.
As long as there's federal dollars out there, we're going to be junkies, and we're going to become more and more dependent on it every time we go for another hit.
Absolutely right. We've got to reverse that course,
Yeah.
get the fiscal house in order, and that's the pathway to prosperity.
We did not get a chance to talk about education. No worries. We will have Dr. Aaron Bendeley at 7:15 to cover that. And Daniel Erspamer, you've got a busy day.
I do.
I appreciate you carving out a couple minutes for me this morning.
Thanks for being here. We're going to have a great time.
Thanks for that. Yes, we are. It is 6:46.